everybody, and welcome once again to our coverage of the World Cup of Hockey. I'm Bill McDonald. Alongside is Jim Fox. Day 3. We'll get to our game in just a moment, but Jimmy, your impression of the first 2 days of the tournament?
Well, certainly I think from the standpoint of the favorites, it went as expected. Sweden in the first game controlled, they dominated Germany. As the game went along, the fitness, a lot of people talking about that, the fitness of the Swedes came to the forefront and they dominated there. Yesterday, maybe a bigger surprise, though Finland came out and got ahead early, then played very smart in the second period. The biggest disappointment so far, very obvious to say, the Czechs. The Czechs were not that good in pre-tournament games, but they disappointed even more yesterday. Jágr was a little sick coming into the tournament. He just wasn't on his game.
Today's game, Germany versus Finland, Helsinki. Germany lost to Sweden, as we mentioned, 6-1. Finland, very impressive, won 7-3 yesterday over the Czech Republic. Here's our Bud Ice players to watch. Beware the Penguins. It's basically going to be, 5-on-1. How about a whole team on one? Teemu Selanne, 3 points yesterday. Saku Koivu, his line was just buzzing the entire afternoon and evening. Erkki Lumme was pretty strong on the power play. Big story possibly, Klaus Merrick in goal instead of Olaf Kolzig. We'll get more from Paul Romanek and Gary Green in the next segment. What about Teemu Selanne? He was impressive as always yesterday.
He certainly was, and I think from the standpoint of leading, there's the goal. He scored a great wrist shot from Selanne. See him here with the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Again, when you get expectations high, as they are in Finland, with a player like Selanne, it is very important, especially early in the tournament, for him to set the tone for his team. He is a leader on that team. He came through in every aspect. You mentioned the other players, a total team effort from Finland.
Germany, you think they've got to take the body more, play much more physical. That has been their style. They got away from that in the first game. They
may have gotten away from it, although, again, you have to credit the Swedes from controlling and dominating. It's the old story with a defensive-oriented team like Germany. If they get behind early in the game, it really doesn't play out for them. They have trouble coming from behind, and that's going to be difficult. I think certainly with the Finns today, if there's anything you want to talk about, maybe a letdown. They had a big win yesterday, and hopefully the Germans are hoping that that may be the case with Finland. A little high yesterday. They get that first win in the first game. Now they have to come right back and get ready for an underdog team.
I don't want to bounce around, but I want to go back to Germany. How are they going to get more scoring opportunities? Do they throw all of their plans out the window and their schemes, and do they do something different?
Well, I think what they have to do, Bill, is certainly play the physical style that they're known for. They have to grind it out. I mentioned it in the first game. It's more difficult to do, easier said than done, but if they get stood up at the blue line, don't try the one-on-one plays. Dump the puck in. Go back to the NHL style. Get it in deep, and then take some bodies. And at times, when necessary, maybe goon it up a little bit. Just create something, some other things that the Finns will have to worry about.
This is the biggest hockey tournament in the world. 8 countries. Who will be the champ? We'll find out in a couple of weeks. But today, it's Germany, Finland, and Helsinki. We got more after this. Stay with us. Cup Hockey is being brought to you by Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light. Drink Bud Ice, but beware the Penguins. By Bauer, the original hockey company. Bauer, leave an impression. By the new Dodge, we're thinking ahead. And by the intense, slam, wick, headbang, and taste of dew. World Cup Hockey continues. Germany, Finland. Right now, let's go out to our site in Helsinki. Paul Romanek and Gary Green, the gentlemen calling the game.
Tell you what, Bill, Jim, you may see a few of these guys playing in the big building in 10, 15 years or so. It's a street hockey tournament going on outside, a real festive atmosphere surrounding this tournament here in Helsinki. Heading into this game, Olaf Kolzig will not play for Germany. That's the big story.
Well, Olaf had 49 shots on him the other night. Might be a little bit tired, but they had great confidence that they had 3 good goaltenders. We're going to see Merrick again play tonight. He's kind of the Ron Hextall of German goaltending.
Yeah, Klaus Merrick will get the call, and he's going to have to play like Ron Hextall at his finest if they want to shut down this awesome Finnish attack. The Finns just want to keep that momentum going.
And they should be able to do that. This is a very disciplined hockey club. But again, psychologically, they may have already won this hockey game simply because of their big triumph over Czechoslovakia. Last night's game, all of a sudden today, playing not nearly the skilled level team in Germany.
The focus of our attention, Germany and Finland. But I tell you what, if we get time, we'll try to let you know how the street hockey tournament finishes up.
All right, guys, thanks. We are looking forward to the result. Gary mentioned discipline for the Finns. You've got another intangible.
Well, I think one thing that the Finns did, they stayed true to form. Going into the tournament, the Finns are known as a team that plays bigger than they are. I mentioned it a couple of times yesterday against the Czech Republic, well, the Czechs should take the body on the Finns, rub them out, play in the trenches, but the Finns rise above that. They're not the biggest team, especially on defense, but they're so intense and so disciplined. They take the body all the time. They chip away. That's one thing the Finns, if they're on top of their game, will watch that. Do they continue taking the body? Do they continue bouncing off of Czechs? That's the way they win games. We are live. This is the World Cup of Hockey. Germany, Finland, we're getting set to drop the puck, but back with more as we get you set after this. Stay with us. All of you, we are live. I'm Bill McDonald. This is Jim Fox getting set once again. Germany, Finland. We're just moments away. We'll get out to the site in just a moment. But popularity of hockey around the world, we just touched on it briefly yesterday. We want to show you a little chart that's very interesting. Population versus the number of people putting on the skates. That's right. Looking at this chart right here, Finland, well, the game of hockey is #1 right there. 1 in 33 Finns play hockey. You see Canada, they're in second spot. Germany, the high population, hockey not yet that popular there, 1 in 3,000 playing. But again, we saw the intensity in Game 1 in Sweden and in Helsinki. They love this game. They're all over this tournament. Jim, you have been pretty good friends with Jari Kurri over the years. He has been the Michael Jordan of sports over in Finland for a long time. Now it might be shifting a bit, but he can't go anywhere without being recognized. That's right, the popularity there with Jari Kurri in Finland. When he goes to Helsinki, billboards, advertisements, newspapers, magazines, Jari Kurri's all over. Now, the torch was changed a little bit with Solani, now Saku Koivu. All those players just all over the place in Finland. We got to get going. Let's get out to Helsinki. Paul and Gary, take it away, guys.
Would it ever be a big upset if this Finnish powerhouse, at least what they displayed in the first game against the Czech Republic, was knocked off by Germany? It would also be a shock to the hockey community in Finland, where expectation is sky high after that first game. People are talking about what a powerful team this is and how they could possibly take a run at the overall title in the tournament. Lots of optimism, and we are underway. Hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Green. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Gary Green, and great to have you with us.
Well, Saku Koivu definitely did his job last night as his line, the kid line with Lehtinen and Peltonen, who are again together again tonight against this German team. They were awesome. They were forechecking and then back-checking, and they had to make their coach, Kurt Lindstrom, proud of them last night.
And, of course, the big story is that Olaf Kolzig is not in goal for Germany. Puck fired up wide of the net there by Leo Steffen of the Germans, and the net is dislodged. It is Klaus Merck in goal for Germany, and Jarmo Millis is in goal for Finland. So a change of goaltenders for both of these teams from game number 1. The referee is Dan Meruelli, Gord Brasseker, and Shane Heyer are on the lines.
Coach George Kingston for the German team expects that his hockey club and hopes that they will play a complete 60 minutes in tonight's hockey game. In game number 1 against Stockholm, they played an excellent 40 minutes, and then the last period, they just ran out of steam.
They can't do any worse than the team from the Czech Republic did last night in terms of a non-cohesive effort. Give the Germans lots of credit because they do play a very team-oriented game. The Czech team, the general consensus is a bunch of individuals were out there, not a team. Solane on the way, cuts in, shoots, and rolled that one just wide. And a delayed penalty coming up, so Finland will get an early power play chance in this game.
Well, this is the problem Germany got into in the second and third period in game number 1 against Sweden. They started taking penalties. They were doing some hooking and holding, coming from behind. They could not compete with the Swedish speed. You could see that same problem on that shift. Kinas, who is in the lineup tonight, in place of number 36, Eric Goldman, ends up getting his team in trouble very early in this hockey game. The Finns have got tremendous speed, and they will try to use it against the Germans.
Here's Lume. Curry is the other man back at the point. The number 1 power play unit out there to start things off for Finland. Rihi Järvi up front along with Rafael. And the other forward is Juha Ullinen. Ullinen up to the line. Clears the puck in. And it's flipped back. Curry will skate back to pick it up. 1:32. Lots of time to go in the Finnish power play. Millis clears it all the way up. Pass comes up. Here comes Solane. In front of the net. Ullinen just fired it wide. And this is Brandel coming back shorthanded. He'll come in, blasts one wide to the short side. Good chance for Brandel shorthanded. Couldn't get the payload on goal. Solane weaving his way in over the blue line, but that's broken up. The puck tapped down the ice by Leo Steffen.
Thomas Brandel's got to take advantage of those type of opportunities. They're not going to come often in a game against a very good defensive team. This Finnish team knows how to play defense.
And the Germans, as we mentioned when we saw them against Sweden, are not blessed with a bunch of great finishers. And there was an example there. Brandel had the chance but couldn't even get the shot on goal. 43 seconds left in the power play for Finland. Lehtinen, top of the point. Kiprasov shoots one in. And Merck got a piece of it. And it was deflected up over the glass and into the netting. So we get a whistle with 35 seconds still to go in the Finnish power play.
Well, there's no surprise with this strong Finnish hockey club to George Kingston that his hockey club's going to have to play their best, but Merck is going to have to be outstanding. There you see that he wasn't getting a great deal of help because that screen was set up in front of him. You've got to allow him to see the puck tonight, and that's something that George Kingston knows his defense have got to allow his goaltender to do.
Saku Koivu out there to take the face-off for Finland. Trying to get it back to Kiprasov. Here's Kiprasov with it. A little tight in along the boards. Couldn't get a shot towards the net. Lehtinen drops it down low. Here's Koivu. Scores! Hannu Berta. Hannu Berta moving in from the blue line. Beating Merck, a power play goal for Finland, and it's 1-0.
So penalties do cost the German team again in this hockey game. Hannu Berta moved in perfectly. He read the play. It was a good pass by Koivu right out from behind the net, and Hannu Berta found the room. He decided once he moved in with his head up that there was room on the stick side. He found it.
Berta gets the goal. Koivu will pick up one assist. And Finland grabs the lead.
So bad penalties cost Team Germany against the Swedish team in the second and third period. It got them down by 2 goals at the end of the second period in game number 1. George Kingston had told his hockey club they had to make sure they stayed out of the penalty box. Players like Hannu Berta and a host of other experienced NHL veterans on this Finnish hockey club would take advantage of them on the power play. Well, it's happened very early in this hockey game.
Torsten Kinas out to center. Kinas, the player who took the penalty that resulted in the Finnish goal. Koivu and Lehtinen picking up assists on Berta's power play goal at 2:11. Here's Kinas. He will clear it up. Buck just bouncing at the line. Jari Kurri is out there. Big fan favorite. Another veteran, Christian Ruutu. Ruutu after it along the boards. Puck cleared up. Bouncing around. Ruutu takes a swipe at it. Laukkanen down there as well. This is the veteran line out there for Finland. And they'll change it up. Puck just tapped in by Pika. Back the other way. Numminen up to the blue line. Ojanen with him. Here's Nieminen. And the puck sitting there loose for a moment. Hack pouncing on it. Johan Hack down into the corner. Trying to center that puck out in front of the net. He had Pika breaking in.
Hack was faced with a 1-on-5. Great defense by the Finns.
The 1-on-5s, never like the odds on those.
Not very good at all.
Nieminen trying to break in there. Puck pulled away. Draisaitl with it. Long pass up ahead. Pika couldn't hang on to it. And now the Germans will change him up on the fly. We are early in this game, 16-14 to go in the first period. 1-0, Finland leading on a power play goal from Hannu Berta. Riihijärvi moving up there after it. Couldn't get to the puck. Ulonen will pick it up. Down into the corner for Solane. Ulonen going towards the front of the net. Solane with it. Dropped it up. Riihijärvi was tied up. Not able to get his stick on that. Here's Solane now. Looking for Riihijärvi. Ulonen out in front as well. Now he comes over to pick it up along the boards. Ulonen steps away, steps in front, waiting, shoots, Merck, stop that, rebound comes out, and a penalty coming up. Finland will go in the power play again. Ulonen walking right out from the corner with the scoring chance.
Sometimes we wonder how certain players get passports, of course, and end up being German-born players or whatever country. Daniel Kunze is in the penalty box right now. He grew up actually in Czechoslovakia. He has a German passport, plays for them, yet his twin brother can't get one.
Finland on the power play. First goal coming on the man advantage, and we'll watch them work it around again. This is Koivu. Back out. Verda. Back to Koivu. Shoots. Rising shot knocked away by Merck. Koivu after it in the corner. Here's Verda, who scored that first power play goal. Up to Koivu. Koivu, ready, set, shot, and that one is tipped up over the glass. And out of play, 1:23 to go in the Finnish man advantage.
Germany's being very respectful of this Finnish hockey club, and they were here last night. They arrived in Helsinki yesterday, coming from Stockholm. Watched this hockey game last night, and maybe a little bit more concerned than they were en route to Helsinki. They're playing Finland right now very respectfully, cautiously killing off this penalty, staying in a very disciplined box.
How do you feel about that as a coach? A team coming in, getting an opportunity to watch their opponent play a game, especially if they're outmatched. Curry scores! What a shot by Curry! And it's 2-0 Finland. Talk about outmatched. The Finns worked it around on that power play. They're 2 for 2 with the man advantage.
Well, if that isn't enough of a lesson for Germany right now, you cannot sit in the penalty box and hope to be competitive against this Finnish team. Jari Kurri just got that puck across the blue line, had plenty of time, and I say plenty of time. There was not one German defender heading out his way. He had lots of time to wind up and just drill that puck. However, from that angle, from that distance, he should never have scored.
Germans coming back in their heels, down by a score of 2-0. 5 minutes into this game, both Finnish goals coming on the power play. Ludeman shoots it in. That's up around the boards. Meyer got it down into the corner. It's cleared right back out. Just to get back to that point I was raising before Curry scored the goal. Do you like that as a coach, a team to sit there and watch how good their opponent is?
Well, I think if they come to a hockey game to watch the opponents, I think they can learn a great deal. And if that's respect, that's one thing. If it's certain little angles, then they should be playing on a goaltender, etc. before they shoot the puck. That's something else.
But can it intimidate them?
Well, if you watch last night's game, if you were a German player, wouldn't it intimidate you seeing the likes of Jágr and Nedved and a host of others that have played in the National Hockey League getting run right over by a good Finnish hockey club? Yeah, it would have some intimidating factors to it without any question.
So do you maybe go, guys, let's not watch the game. We'll just see them when we show up.
No.
Lume and Riihijärvi picking up assists on Curry's goal. 2-0 for Finland.
I think I'd rather have them watching it and understanding that if you don't work your tail off, you're going to be in big trouble. You're going to get embarrassed. So work hard, listen, play with discipline.
That was the game plan for George Kingston. So far, his team not following it. They took a couple of penalties. Here's Kinas. And the puck cleared off the boards and down the ice. Lume clears it up ahead. On the way down the wing, Lehtinen cutting in. Looking towards the front of the net. He had Koivu breaking in there. Here's Koivu up back of the net. Koivu battling away. Lehtinen centers it in front. Puck blasted on goal by Peltonen. Big stop by Klaus Merck.
Peltonen was left all alone in the slot. When he got that puck, he knew what to do with it. He just hammered it.
Laukkanen chased all the way back there. Mark McKay watching him. He's the only man up for the Germans.
Question George Kingston will be having is why Peltonen was left all alone in the slot. That's not good defense.
Here's Solane, tucks it up ahead. Ylonen down into the corner. Ylonen up along the boards. And here it is up ahead, dropped off there by Benda. Benda coming in over the blue line. Up there with Meyer, who fired it wide. Benda parked off the side. Meyer gets it out to him. Benda shoots. Had a beat in the short side, but it's grabbed and held by Jarmo Millis. 2-0 Finland on top. Verda and Curry with the goals. Couple of the veterans scoring the goals. 36-year-old Jari Curry and 36-year-old Hannu Verda. And Finland just continuing to build the momentum as it looks towards its biggest test in the European pool. Christian Ruutu coming up after it. That will be the game on the weekend against Sweden, their arch rivals.
It appears that the Germans are playing a much more cautious defensive type of game tonight. That might cost them in more ways than one. When your team's ready to go right after it, your tempo is picked up right from the start. You start moving from point A to point B a little bit quicker, even in your own zone. Right now, the Germans are being very defensively respectful of the Finnish team.
Here's Meyer starting back out for Germany. Long shot. Millis will grab that. Plays it off. Nummelen.
They're definitely shooting that puck in, but there's no use of doing that unless you're going to have two guys going after that puck. They're sending one.
Nummelen clearing it down the ice, and Kai Nurminen almost got to it, but it was covered up there by Klaus Merck, the goaltender.
Nurminen is in the lineup tonight. He was replacing Kapanen, so Kurt Lidstrom doing a little bit of line juggling, more or less to get some players into the game, I'm sure, but also if he didn't feel a player such as Kapanen had a great evening last night, well, then he's got those extras. Nurminen in there. Nurminen was a Los Angeles draft pick in '96.
And a member of the Finnish national team only once prior to this tournament. Played in the World Championship last year, or earlier this year, last hockey season. Here comes Jani Ojanen. On the way up, coming in with Nieminen. Nieminen with it, shoots! High shot picked up and held by Merck.
Nika Nieminen, who played in Zurich, Switzerland this past year. He's one of the 3 best players on this Finnish team in the '96 Worlds. Merck wasn't going to take any chances. Once he got possession of that puck in his glove, he wasn't going to let go. The Finns really challenged the net well last night on the Czechs. They were crashing the net at times. They were hungry for goals.
And the crowd here in Helsinki and the national expectations. Puck fired on goal right off the draw by Peltonen. No doubt doing an awful lot. Those expectations and enthusiasm to fire this team up.
Been a lot of pressure on this hockey club. This is a big deal here in Finland. Finland of about 5.5 million people. I think all who love the game of hockey. This is their national sport.
Height clears it up. Lehtinen tried to keep it in at the line. Koivu there to help him out. Laukkanen. And you can just see those German defenders lining up across the blue line, trying to put up a wall there to keep the Finns from penetrating so easily. Here's Koivu. He'll break back in. Koivu, top of the slot. Look at him, stick handle, cuts right in front of the net. And the puck just rolled past Peltonen.
Well, if you want to play a defensive game, there's a good strategy here to play for the Finnish team because they're as good at defense as they are offense. And right there, their counterattack was excellent. Germans tried to carry the puck to the neutral zone. The Finns picked it off and ended up with a scoring position opportunity because of it, in good position.
Icing called on Finland at 9 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the first period. Finland with a 2-0 lead. Hannu Verda and Jari Kurri with the goals.
Tino Solani last night was on fire. He was cutting to the net and full of lots of speed. So was Saku Koivu. And Koivu tonight isn't showing that he's slowed down the least bit by playing a game last night in a very hot building. Much cooler in this building tonight.
Puck fired on goal there. Millis stops it. Ylonen clears it up ahead. Solane flashing down the right side into the wing, into the corner, trying to get it out. And the puck just bounced away from him. Ylonen gets it up ahead. Riihijärvi, Solane couldn't wheel in the pass. Riihijärvi catches up to it in the corner to Ylonen. Ylonen back of the net. Trying to pull away from the checking of Meyer. Gets loose, gets control, gets it out. And Riihijärvi lofted that shot wide. Kiprasov coming up after it. Ylonen along the boards. And Lume off the bench will hurry across and pick it up. Finland making a couple of more changes. Solane and over the blue line up there with Riihijärvi. Drops it back. Lume moving up. Lume still pushing his way up into the corner now. Lume being watched by Kunze. And the Germans control. Puck just bounced out. And trying to cut up after it, Doucette, but cleared out of harm's way by Millis. Got to that puck before Doucette could. You're watching the World Cup of hockey. Jarmo Millis, the Finnish goaltender, gets called for delay of the game. He skated out to head that puck off before Benoit Doucette could get to it, and he cleared it up over the glass and out of play. And that's a textbook call. No room for discretion on the part of the referee.
Well, the Germans will have their hands full, though, on this power play because Finland are excellent at killing penalties. We saw that in last night's game against the Czechs, where the Finns really dominated when it came to killing penalties as well. They dominated in every zone, in every situation in last night's hockey game.
Raimo Helminen is serving the penalty against his goaltender, Jarmo Millis. Curry out there in the face-off. And maybe the Germans can get some momentum going here in the power play. Puck lofted in. Millis stopped that. It'll bounce out, and here comes Curry. And there goes the power play. Dieter Hagen pulling his man down as they came out through the neutral zone. And the power play does not last very long, all of 17 seconds.
Not a good one for Dieter Hagen, not the captain of this hockey club that's got to supply more leadership. He's 34 years of age, and he was upset right away. He knew what he did was wrong because he just pulled Christian Ruutu down. Ruutu was skating right alongside of him. Watch this as they're coming back. All of a sudden, you could just barely see it on the right of your screen, but Dieter Hagen was doing that old hitchhiking routine and ended up getting a hooking penalty for it.
Dieter Hagen, Mr. Hockey in Germany.
He's the veteran of the team, the Worlds and the Olympics. He's second on all-time scoring in the German league.
Played in 11 World Championships. Started his pro career in the German Bundesliga at the age of 17. So the team's at 4-on-4 for the next minute 40. And then Finland will go on the power play. Puck cleared across for Lume. Trying to work it up for Jari Kurri. Kurri couldn't get loose. Benda out to center. Lead pass up on the wing. Benda gets it down into the corner. He'll catch up to it now back of the net. And Lume comes away with it. Up ahead to Kurri. Out there with Ruutu and Lume. They come in over the blue line. Here's Lume. Looking. Looking still, tried to tuck it in front. Puck just knocked away by Merrick. Ruutu taps it up. Lume looking around. Ojanen coming down the left wing. He's got it, slides it all the way across. And the Finns just passing that puck around, controlling it at will. Now here's a chance, a shot by Nieminen. For about 20 seconds there, Gary, it was as though there were no German players in the ice, the way the Finns were controlling the puck.
Well, Germany have got to really move quickly in the defensive zone. They got to move quickly in the neutral zone and the offensive zone. But in the defensive zone, that getting from point A to point B is very important against the Finns. You've got to be able to get on them. And they did a pretty good job of this, at least getting out and getting that stick in front of that shot. The Finns have got tremendous skill and agility. And just that extra little burst of speed get them so many more scoring opportunities.
Teams at even strength for the next 40 seconds. Draisaitl gets up to the line. Puck knocked away from him. Finland will get a 17-second power play in another 26 seconds. Heck up there looking for it. Pushed out the puck by Laukkanen. And almost sneaking away there was Nieminen. He was pulled down. The fans whistling for a penalty. One does not get called, but Nieminen just sliding along center there, trying to keep himself onside.
I think Nieminen was hoping for a penalty. He knew that he was being sandwiched, so he was hoping for the opportunity for another power play.
Mika Nieminen, as you mentioned, playing in Switzerland last year. Prior to that, he spent 3 years playing in Sweden. Hasn't played in the Finnish league since 91-92.
In 94-95, he was second in league scoring to Saku Koivu. He had 30 goals back then.
Puck passed up ahead now. Wheeling in is Peltonen. Peltonen steps up, trying to slide around Height. Height watching him along the boards. Peltonen gets it back. Peltonen still. Lehtinen trying to set up in the slot. Short power play here for the Finns. Koivu comes in. Lehtinen up there. Couldn't get the shot away, but he'll bulldog after it along the boards. Battling away with Hagen. And the team's back at even strength. Moving up was Verda. Almost able to bat that in. And Mark trying to cover it up. Verda was right there fishing around for a loose puck. 5:50 to go in the first period. Finland leading 2-0.
There's not only a big difference in the skill level between these two teams, which is obvious, and that's no slight on the German team, because this German team isn't made up of the National Hockey League veterans that so many of the other teams in this league obviously, or in this World Tournament obviously are. However, in situations in the defensive zone, unlike in game number 1 in Stockholm, where the German team really fought hard to win those battles, they are more tentative in tonight's game. The Finnish team looks so much stronger.
Here's Solane. Trying to work it back towards the blue line. That is broken up. Lupzig couldn't get it out. Now they'll try again. Lupzig coming out with Noak. Clears it up and ahead. Steffen coming in. Steffen down into the corner. Lupzig up there to help out. Here's Steffen, number 13 for Germany. Twisting around. Brandl is up there too. Brandl moving over along the boards, trying to get it. Picked up by Lupzig. Lupzig drops it down. Cutting out in front. Steffen almost able to step that in. And this is Nummelen after it. Pass up ahead to Solane. Ruutu coming up to join him. Solane clears it in. Ruutu storming up on the right-hand side. Helminen up there, number 14 along the boards. Had it picked away by Doucette, who clears it out. Puck just bouncing there at center. Rumrick trying to hop on it. Pounded there by Hagen, but it's deflected out of play. 4:42 to go in the first period. Finland leading 2-0. Well, the Finns up by a score of 2-0. Pretty good crowd on hand again tonight, although it's not sold out as the game last night was.
Ticket prices here for the game in Helsinki are very expensive. The lowest price ticket, Paul?
Well, it's in the neighborhood of about $100 US.
Wow.
It's this very small building, which is maybe one reason why the prices are so high. But people here, for the most part, willing to pay a premium to see a Finnish national team made up of the best Finnish players play here in this country, something they haven't always had the chance to do. And the same holds true for Sweden, where I understand tickets are going for twice their face value for the big showdown on the weekend between Sweden and Finland at the Globen Arena.
Kurt Lindstrom, the coach of the Finnish team, says that he never loses in the Globe Arena. We're holding him to that, are we?
Here comes Helminen, back to Ruutu. Curry is parked in front. Ruutu around back of the net, back to Raimo. Helminen shoots right through the goal crease. Puck will hop up there. Stromberg up after it. Down to Ruutu, centers it in front. Curry was tied up and then hooked his man down. Wasn't able to get a shot away, however. Here's Laukkanen. Gets it up ahead for Curry. Ruutu breaking towards the net. Couldn't break free of Meyer. He'll give chase into the corner. Puck handed away. Laukkanen rolls it across in front of the net. Stromberg up after it. Finns just flying around the goal again. Great pressure. Ruutu comes out. Looking for an opening. Flips it up on goal. Mark knocked that away. Ruutu down back of the net for Curry. Helminen couldn't get his stick on it. And Meyer finally clears it up ahead to the blue line. Johan Hecht clears it up to the line, and it's finally tipped up over the glass and out of play with 3:29 to go in the first period. What a show that veteran line was putting on for Finland. Ruutu working it around to Curry, and then he'd drop it down to Helminen.
Marco Kiprasov may get a little bit more action this coming year with the Montreal Canadiens. He only played in 24 games last year for the Canadiens. Played the rest of the year with the Fredericton AHL team.
3:20 to go in the period, and Finland up 2-0, scoring a couple of goals in the first 5 minutes of the hockey game. And a penalty coming up. It's going to be a holding call.
Holding the stick.
And pardon me, as you could hear the referee saying, a holding the stick penalty. By the way, before I forget this, Dan Maruelli is the referee, and I promised him that I would say hello to his family back home who couldn't make it over, his wife Sharon and his kids Danny, Joey, and Dana.
Ustorf ends up taking the penalty. The only National Hockey League player for Germany in the lineup tonight, with of course Olaf Kolzig, his teammate back in Washington, not dressed for tonight's game.
At Kolzig not even dressed. Josef Heiss is the backup goaltender. Kiprasov in over the blue line. Rolls it up and around. Top of the point for Verda. Finland 2 for 2 in the power play. Puck comes in front. Kiprasov shoots. Fired that one just wide. Koivu with it. Looking. Gets it down low in front. Merrick stops and scores. Lehtinen. Jari Lehtinen makes it 3-0 Finland.
Well, it seems that it's almost a given. If the Finnish team gets the power play opportunity, they're going to do something with it, and that they did. Lehtinen, who plays on that line with Koivu and Peltonen, were so outstanding in last night's game. They gave Merck difficulties on this shift. Koivu faked the shot, as you can see, and then just fed that nice pass right across to Peltonen. Peltonen got the worst of it after he had already put the puck in the net when he got hit by Kinas.
Koivu will pick up an assist, his second assist of the hockey game. And Peltonen picks up the other assist. So Finland 3 for 4 on the power play, but the fourth power play lasted only 17 seconds. In the full power plays, they are 3 for 3, bang on.
That's the effort by Peltonen, though. He took the check in order to make the play, so once he released that puck, just kind of got a touch of it over to Lehtinen, then Lehtinen put it in, and Peltonen got the worst of the wear.
Here's Noack. He'll clear it up there. Lume knocks it away. Nieminen clears it ahead. Here comes Jani Ojanen. Ojanen coming up. Nurminen is with him. Here's Lume. Walks in. Shoots. Got his pad on it. Lume, the third man coming up in that rush, had a great chance.
Well, Jyrki Lume loves to go with that puck. That's why he scored 17 goals for the Vancouver Canucks this past season. He's a good offensive defenseman that reads the ice very well.
Here comes Yolonen breaking in. Solane going for the front of the net. Rihi Järvi as well. Here's Rihijarvi along the boards, being pressured by Dreitzel. Heck clears it out to center. 1:05 to play in the opening period. 3-0. Finland is leading Germany. Stromberg, cross ice pass picked up by Solane. Yolonen up there with him. Rihijarvi as well. Stromberg breaks that up. Yolonen breaks down. Solane shoots. Merck stops it.
That puck was rolling on Solane. He really couldn't do much with it. He was just trying to get it to lay down.
Kiprasov clears it in. The Finns will change him up with 35 seconds to play in the period. And Curry moves over to pick it up. Hagen watching him, but Curry just drops back to Kiprasov. Curry streaking down the left wing, takes the pass, trying to cut in, and Merck kicks that away. Peter Hagen did a good job there of impeding Curry's progress enough so that Curry didn't get a great shot away. Here's Verda back at the blue line. 5 seconds to go. And Verda just skating it back, and Finland doing what I think most people probably expected it would in that first period, and that is dominating. 3 power play goals. Verda, Curry, and Lehtinen, the marksman, and Finland with a 3-0 lead over Germany after 1.
Thank you, Paul and Gary. I'm Bill McDonald. He is Jim Fox. This is the New Dodge Intermission Report. Germany, very tentative in that first period.
Well, Bill, throughout the international tournament, you usually talk about systems and styles, and we've done that. But today, you could see Paul and Gary Green mentioning the situation, intimidation factor. The Germans watched the Finns play last night. They're intimidated. They don't feel they belong in the game, and that's exactly the way they played. They're coming from behind. They're taking a lot of penalties. Don't
play this game scared. It'll get you absolutely nowhere. 3-0, Finland over Germany. When we come back, we'll talk about Team USA. And we'll talk to Coach Ron Wilson. See you in a minute. Live for the New Dodge Intermission Report between the first and second period. Finland all over Germany. 3-0. I'm Bill McDonald, along with Jim Fox. You know, Jimmy, I've got an idea. I want to put a team together, and I kind of like the mix of some of these teams. Well, Bill, I've seen your wallet. I don't know if you're going to be able to do it. The money being thrown around, if you had to pay all these guys, look at this. Canada on top. The payroll, over $63 million. Look at the averages. You go down the list. Certainly it's right there. So if you're a GM, you want to put a team together, you're going to have to come up with some bucks. You want to be an owner. The GMs like to spend money, the owners. Imagine owning one of these teams, you have to come up with the bucks. But again, it's just another example. These are the top players in the world. They make the top bucks. Hey, if we had a salary cap, Germany would be way under it. They can sign some serious free agents. Those, of course, are NHL salaries. Obviously, the reason why Team Russia, USA, and Canada are so high, they're just laden with NHL players. We're chomping at the bit. Go ahead and chomp away right now because we're waiting for the Team USA and Team Canada and Team Russia. We're waiting for the North American pool to start. It'll get underway tomorrow with Russia and Canada. Jimmy will be there on site. Team USA begins their quest for the World Cup of Hockey crown on Saturday. Their coach, Ron Wilson, we've been hearing from him for the last couple of days. We're going to hear from him again now. Getting set for his opening game, he talks about the style that Team USA will play.
We don't have very many what you call grinders or checkers on our team, so our style is probably going to be a little more wide open, a little more European than it ever has been before. But we do have depth in goal. Our goaltenders are excellent. Our defensemen are very mobile, so I'm looking for us to have a very solid, good tournament. But without a doubt, when you look at the other teams, this is really up for grabs. When you study the NHL, there's parity amongst the NHL from top to bottom. Anybody can win on any night. And in a tournament like this, whether it's us playing Slovakia or the Russians playing Canada, anybody can win, and it's going to hinge upon the goaltending. Whoever comes out of here with the hottest goaltenders is going to win the whole tournament, and it's always been that way. Canada's always usually had the best goaltending in these big events, but the Russians have good goalies, we have good goalies, so I look for the Canada, Russia, and the United States to be in one of those two teams, or two of those teams are going to be in the finals because of their depth in goal. And Ron Wilson obviously very confident on his chances of the U.S. team. The big asset
offensive-minded defenseman for the U.S. He talked about the wide-open style. That's exactly what you can see. These D can play defense, too. They're pretty good in their own zone, but they're going to be up the ice, activating, and playing some offense.
Again, the schedule now for Team USA. They will start on Saturday. The matchup against Canada, 8 o'clock in the East, 5 o'clock in the West. It's live. They get Russia on Monday, Slovakia on Tuesday. We are certainly looking forward. All games throughout the tournament live right here. Going to take a break here on the New Dodge Intermission Report. When we come back, we've got highlights. Finland, 3-0 over Germany. Back, our coverage of the World Cup of Hockey 1996 continues. This is the New Dodge Intermission Report. Time now to get to our highlights of the first period of action. Once again, all Finland, they were flying.
And it was a difficult situation for Germany. Klaus Merck getting the start. Olaf Kolzig not in the net. Right from the first shift of the game, Teemu Selanne creating a chance right there. The speed of the Finns, very apparent in the first period. Wouldn't take long, though, on the power play. Koivu out to Hannu Virta. One-time shot, and Finland scores first. Ulanen along the boards, taking the puck to the net. You need great goaltending from Germany, and Merck comes up right there, a big save. He's got to make those big ones to keep him in the game. Peltonen with a big shot, Merck with another save. So, well, he's hanging in there for Germany. Well, power play again for Finland. Jari Kurri with a blast. A little traffic there with Selanne in front. That makes it 2-0 Finland. Then on the power play again, crashing the net. This is NHL style. Lehtinen knocks in the rebound, 3-0 Finland after one period. We talked about the NHL style of the Finns coming in. They continue to do it. Mountain Dew, first period stats. You look at the power plays, there were only 3 full power plays for Finland. They finished a total of 3 for 4 on that power play. So the speed of the Finns, we talked about that. Germany's having to come from behind. Germany's having to hold, hook, try to slow down the Finns. It's not working. They're taking the penalties. Finland's finishing
They
off.
took a lot of penalties the other night, too, when they lost to Sweden 6-1. Same thing happening here against Finland. Going to take another break. When we come back, we'll preview tomorrow night's game with Team Canada. Stay with us.
Rocky, tonight in the press box, the Dodgers continue their playoff battle in Montreal, and we'll visit with the Martinez brothers, Pedro of the Expos and Ramon of the Dodgers. Tomorrow night, they'll face off against each other for the first time. It's all tonight on Prime Sports.
Finland leads Germany 3-0 after the first period on our morning afternoon game, wherever you are in the United States here in the World Cup of Hockey. I'm Bill McDonald along with Jim Fox. Do you see my nose growing?
A little bit.
I'm Pinocchio. I'm the little wooden boy because I lied. I said we're going to preview the game with Team Canada. That's in the next period. We're going to talk about tomorrow morning's game, and that is Sweden versus the Czech Republic, who, well, we think that might be the best game of this early round in the pool, in the European pool. Joe Sakic, great player. He plays for Team Canada. He was also a member of the Colorado Avalanche, who took the Stanley Cup. His teammate is Peter Forsberg. He plays for Team Sweden. We asked Joe Sakic to talk about this great player.
He's definitely one of the best players in the world. You know, he's got it all, complete package. He's strong. He's got great speed. He can play whichever way you want to play, a skill game or a physical game.
There's Joe Sakic, of course, talking about Peter Forsberg, the big matchup in tomorrow morning's game. Forsberg against Jagr. Forsberg, you heard the words, complete package, can dominate in all assets, all facets of the game. Look at this. Takes the body, very physical, nice passer, good shooter. He plays with intensity and grit. Jagr, we have to use an NHL highlight right here because really no highlights in yesterday's game.
Happen,
Jagr had struggled right there. But with Forsberg again, he does it. But the extra intangible is his will to win. He fights through things, especially in NHL. No one's going to intimidate a player like Peter Forsberg.
If you were not with us for the Czech Republic's first game, Jagr a bit under the weather, but he had that game now under his belt. We'll see if he can play better tomorrow. More to come. We're going to take a break. Be back right here on the New Dodge Intermission Report. Stay with us. This is the New Dodge Intermission Report. We're just moments away from sending you back out to Helsinki. But however, we have some business to do. We want to show you the schedule coming up in the next couple of days, the big schedule, all the games. Tomorrow, we'll have the Czech Republic and Sweden in the morning, and then Canada and Russia. Will preview that in the next break. No games on Friday. Everybody take a day off. Why not? Then on Saturday, triple header, Germany and the Czech Republic, Russia, Slovakia, and U.S. opens with Canada. We're going out to Helsinki.
Finland dominating the first period, a 3-0 lead to start things off here in period number 2. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Gary Green at the Ice Hall in Helsinki, Finland. The final game in this building of the World Cup tournament. Puck tapped up ahead. Koivu's coming up to the blue line. Koivu moving up there along with Lehtinen. That's fired up, and Klaus Merck will grab it and hold on.
Finland outshot Germany 17-5 in that first period of play with this very comfortable 3-0 lead. We will see whether Finland will just continue to play the same way they did at the first, or consider that perhaps the game has already been won. Saku Koivu missed the net. Merck just grabbed hold of that puck and wasn't about to let go. He'd take the stoppage and play.
And penalties really hurting the Germans.
Well, as it did in game number 1 against Sweden.
Finland with 3 power play goals in that opening period. Numelin back there to pick it up. Numelin shovels it up around the boards. Stromberg. Julian being tied up. Height skating back after it. And Height just tying up Solane there somewhat. Here's Lupsig. Clears it out to center. Riihijärvi with it. Banks it up off the board. Solane was in quest of that puck, but it's cleared away from him. And Numelin back to pick it up. Icing is called on Germany.
Just taking off from our conversation, Paul, in the intermission regarding Olaf Kolzig. I talked to Kolzig before the game, and he's fine. You had mentioned, of course, that after the game he had the tape on his wrist. However, he didn't have that on prior to tonight's hockey game and had a real strong workout this morning. What the German team believe is that they can win their one hockey game in this tournament, and that's going to be against the Czechs. They feel comfortable that they have a good opportunity to do that. Olaf Kolzig, no doubt, will be the goaltender for the game against the Czechs in Garmisch, and that's where they want to have their very best ready. However, I think Olaf Kolzig could well have prepared for this game as well as Saturday's game against the Czechs without any concern. These National Hockey League players are accustomed to playing a lot in a short period of time.
Well, potential that could be a showdown of 0-2 teams. So a battle for third place in this European pool. The Czechs going up against Sweden in their next game. That game goes tomorrow in Prague. If Sweden wins that one, the Czechs would be 0-2 heading into their final game against Germany in Garmisch.
Emil Helminen played in Malmö, Sweden this past year. He was formerly a New York Ranger draft pick way back in 1984. He came to the National Hockey League at just at age 21. He played for a few years with the New York Rangers, Minnesota North Stars, and the New York Islanders. Really, in his rookie year, everyone in the National Hockey League thought that he was going to be pretty good. He had 40 points in 66 games.
On the face-off, puck comes right back. Laukkanen works it across for Stromberg. Stromberg fired that one up. Benda skates back after it. Jan Benda will start out. Got it up ahead to McKay. Trying to return the favor to Benda. That's knocked down. Ludman clears it up ahead. McKay trying to drop it back for Benda. Benda gives chase along the boards. Ludman taps it in. Uzdorf cruising towards the front of the net. They can't get it out to him. Here's Benda looking around. Uzdorf still going to the front. Benda shoots. Fired that one low and wide. Benda able to work his way all the way out in front of the net, but couldn't land a good shot on goal. Nieminen coming back up for Finland. Nieminen back of the net. Tried to tuck it out in front. Ojanen goes after it. Jani Ojanen in tight along the boards. Puck just rolls around, ends up on the stick of Jason Meyer. He works it out. Benda clears it up. Uzdorf was flying down the left wing, couldn't get it to him, and the Germans will change him up on the fly. The Finns changing just a moment ago. Hannu Virta, long pass up at center. Here comes Koivu, flying down that wing. Slides it into the corner. Koivu continues towards the front of the net. Puck comes in front, fired on goal by Lehtinen. And Merck with a nice stop. Koivu trying to come out, and play is called. And a penalty coming up. With 16:58 to go in the second period, we'll sort the penalty out for you when we come back.
Going to New Delhi, down to Ubangi, Parisian sea looks
done that.
If we violate the laws of physics, will we be punished? Well, we did. We gave Stratus a new type of tire that offers the tread life and enhanced fuel economy of a tire engineered for efficiency, yet sticks to the road like a tire engineered for performance. A clear violation of physical law. Thus far, there have been no legal repercussions. Dodge Stratus, it's full of answers. Now, during the Dodge Summer Clearance, get $1,000 cash savings, 1.9 financing, or a low lease rate.
Saku Koivu is off for hooking. And it's a power play chance for Germany. Germany trailing by a score of 3-0. We are early in the second period. Here comes Height. Clears it up ahead for Doucette. Long pass, works it across now. Hagen coming in. Dieter Hagen sends it up around the boards. Doucette looking for it. Hagen up there to help out. And see if the Germans can establish some kind of a presence in the offensive zone if they can get set up during this power play. Hagen being badgered there along the boards. Comes back out for Height. He'll clear it up. Hagen in back of the net. He's got Benda in front. Doucette couldn't get a stick on that pass. Solane clears it back up. Short-handed. Ullinen fires one. A rising shot that Merck knocked down. Juha Ullinen coming in short-handed after Solane had sent him away. Puck rolls over towards Benda's wing. Nowak trying to come in. Knocked away from him and cleared back down the ice. And Merrick way out of his net to clear it ahead. Drysdale gets it across for Usdorf. Steps up, shoots. Drysdale picks it up along the boards. Drysdale gets it up along. Just trying to work it towards the front of the net. Nobody there yet for the Germans. Drysdale fires it up. That's knocked down. Usdorf trying to get loose. He'll stumble after that puck. Usdorf into the corner against Nummelen. Ludman not able to keep it in. And back short-handed comes Helmanen. Picked away from him. 16 seconds left in the German power play. Usdorf's going towards the front of the net. Puck comes across. Scores! Daniel Nowak. And the Germans get on the board with a power play goal.
Well, the big aggressive defenseman Daniel Nowak, who hails from Brantford, Ontario, was able to move in and get that shot away right from the slot. And you could see from that angle that it beat Mielis glove side. Nowak's a big, strong guy. He was the most aggressive defenseman for, or I should say player for Germany, without any question, in game number 1 against the Swedes. He was also their most aggressive defenseman too. He likes to have it going.
Nowak spent some time over in the Ontario Hockey League, playing with Sudbury and Cornwall, and gets Germany's first goal of this game. Stefan Usdorf was also up there in that rush, but the puck came back to Nowak, and a good shot, getting the Germans on the board.
Well, the Germans in this second period have definitely had more spirit and life to them, and I think that they picked their pace up considerably after discussions in the first intermission. They're hitting more and they're skating faster.
And icing is called on Finland. So Nowak gets the goal. Drysdale and McCabe picking up the assists. And the goal coming at 4:50 on the power play for Germany. So you have to build in small steps, and the Germans taking one there. But it's a team that really is not blessed with guys who can fill the net. George Kingston even admits that. He said, we execute well, but we can't finish. Off the faceoff. Lehtinen cuts in, dropped it off. Peltonen cuts in front of the net, rolled it across. A penalty coming up. Koivu was hooked down right in front of Klaus Merck, trying to take the return feed. And Finland will go on the power play. All 3 of Finland's goals in this game coming on the power play.
Mike Keenan has been keeping a close look on this man right here, Johan Heck, the man that took the penalty. However, if Heck had not have obstructed Saku Koivu right here, there probably would have been a goal scored, because Koivu was waiting right there with his stick on the ice, ready to take the pass, and he would have caught Merck in a very difficult position. Not one that he would likely have been able to recover and keep that puck out of his own net. Heck had to reach and obstruct. He wasn't in position to do much else.
Koivu up in the face-off, gets it back. Kiprasov. Berta moving up as well. Kiprasov gets it across. Puck blasted wide by Lehtinen. Koivu to Lehtinen. Kiprasov. Look at them working around. Berta's right up there on the right side. And he'll drop back to the blue line and take this pass. Up for Koivu. Tucks it down low. Peltonen trying to center it in front. Kiprasov was right up there, but couldn't get to the rebound quickly enough. Merckx smothering it. 1:26 to go on the power play.
This Finnish team can move the puck around very well. Kiprasov has had lots of international experience, both in the 94 Worlds, the 94 Olympics, and the 95 Worlds. There you see Peltonen was just in way too close in order to do anything but throw out a good pass.
Ulonen up in the face-off. And had the puck knocked away from him and cleared down the ice. Solane is also up there along with Juha Rihijärvi. Here comes Solane. Wheels in over that blue line. Rihijärvi is with him. Ulonen up there as well. Solane. Lume works it across. Solane again. Lume shooting. That's stopped. And the rebound chopped to the line, but not out. Lume kept it in. Up to Solane. Curry streaking in on goal. Puck fired across, and Merck got a piece of it, and that was enough. But here's Curry. Here's Lume. Solane drops it down low. Curry flashing in towards the front of the net. Solane takes it back. Solane still. Back to Curry. Back up to Solane. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Puck down low in front. Fired on goal by Ulonen, but that was stopped. Here's Lume. The Finns dominating on this power play. Here's Curry. Up to Solane. Back to Curry. To Solane. This place will go nuts if they can score. Rihijärvi works it back. Here's Curry. Shoots. That's knocked down. Rebound in front. Rihijärvi couldn't get to it. And the puck cleared down the ice.
The Finns had an excellent screen set up in front. They were also using the perimeters to try to break loose. Good job on the setup. Good job at setting the screen.
Penalized player back on. Tremendous pressure from Finland on that power play, but they couldn't quite finish off. Here's Ojanen. He'll try. In front. Oh, what a stop by Merck as he got the leg across to Rob Nieminen. Spectacular save. And the puck cleared down the ice. Hustling back there after it, Mika Stromberg gets it up and around. 11:49 to play here in period number 2. It is 3-1, Finland leading Germany. And the pace picking up. Brandel tried to get away. Merck plays it up off the boards, and Laukkanen will skate back after it. Doesn't go far enough for icing. Both teams changing on the fly. Good pace to this game. Nurminen ripped a shot on goal. That was stopped. Ruutu up there looking for it. Long pass right down the middle. It'll be played there by Milas, so icing waved off. Curry was waiting for it. Tap back up. Benda got it up ahead. Now Hellman in there to intercept.
So all of a sudden, Paul, the pace in this second period is picked up considerably. This is more like the pace in game number 1 when the Germans played the Swedes.
Kiprasov lofting it in there. Wicked bounce, almost caught Merck. What a hop that was. Usdorf charging back for Germany. Offside called on the Germans. Hey, we're on a roll here in this second period. Finland continuing to lead 3-1.
Sunday, September 15th is Home Day on Home Shopping Network. You'll feel right at home choosing from the best of what's innovative and fashionable for the place where you unwind, dream, and breathe a little easier. No matter what your taste, tune into Home Day for products that will work beautifully in your home and help realize a dream as Home Shopping Network joins Habitat for Humanity in building a house to make a home. Home Day, September 15th, only on Home Shopping Network.
On the gridiron, on the ice, we've got you covered this weekend on Prime Sports. Saturday morning at 10:30, college football kicks off. Miami at Memphis. At 2, World Cup of Hockey action. Russia takes on Slovakia. Then at 5:15, back to football. Missouri meets Texas. Sunday morning at 9, more hockey. Finland against Sweden. And Sunday at 5, Team Canada battles it out with Team Slovakia. Yes, we've got you covered with all the action this weekend on Prime Sports.
Finland scoring 3 goals in the first period. Germany with 1 here in the second period. But look at this stop. Puck right across in front to Nieminen.
Merck just made a great left toe pad save. It was unbelievable the way that he did the splits and was able to keep that puck out without question. His best save in the World Cup.
Jani Ojanen with a beautiful pass right across in front to Mika Nieminen. And that came just on the tail end of a Finnish power play during which they dominated. During the 2-minute power play, I'll bet they had possession of that puck in the offensive zone for what, Gary, a minute 50?
That they did, but again, the German team did a pretty good job of at least making sure that they played a good disciplined box, and they were able to keep the puck out of the slot.
Heck fired it across in front. Pika couldn't get loose. Newman clears it up. Here's Koivu. Gets in close. Koivu almost stick-handled his way around Meyer. Back at the line, Lume shoots it up. That will wobble up. Koivu goes after it. And Drysdale was knocked down there along the boards.
Koivu doing a little pushing and shoving himself. Jason Meyer from the German team right there as well. Jason Meyer is from Regina. You can see a pretty good job of protecting that puck being done by Drysdale. He finally ended up falling on it, and he was really protecting it.
Didn't look like quite as much of a hit from behind on the replay as it did initially. 9:54 to go in the second period. Finland leading Germany 3-1. Finland dominating the game, but, and it's a big but, the Germans get another goal. They're within 1. Confidence can do a lot for you. And Germany, in its rather short international hockey history, is a team that can generate the odd upset. They shocked Canada 5-1 at the World Championship this year. Here's Solane. Drops it down. Stromberg scores! Stromberg got it out to Solane. And it's 4-1 Finland.
Watch Solane head for the net. Right there, the left of your screen, folks. He heads for the net. He got that pass, and as soon as Timo Solane got it, he knew what to do with it. Made it real tough for Klosmerk, who was trying to recover. Stromberg saw that Solane was out in the slot. He just tried to get that puck to him. That he did, and Solane with the quick movement.
Solane gets the goal at 10:27. And Finland is up by a score of 4-1. Nieminen after it. He gets it up ahead. Lehtinen clearing it down into the corner. Kai Nurminen trying to get up there after it. Here's Ojanen. Ojanen gets it out. Puck fired wide by Nieminen. And Kiprasov will chase back after it. Here's Verda. Got it by Usdorf. Height knocks it down and clears it in for the Germans. Benda moving up there to forecheck. Kiprasov has the puck for Finland. Back for Verda. Up to Ojanen. Peeling in now. Numminen. Walked right up towards the slot, but couldn't get it back onto his stick after he'd made the move. Here's Lume. He'll fire one up. That wobbles in on goal, and it's grabbed and held by Merck. Finland with a 4-1 lead. Solane with its latest goal.
First round of the World Cup of Hockey begins. The best players in the NHL and the world battle for their national home team. See Forsberg of Sweden face off against Yager of the Czech Republic for a new World Hockey Championship, the World Cup of Hockey.
Thursday at 10 on Prime Sports.
Conference USA takes the field with favorite Cincinnati. The Bearcats are pumped and looking to score the conference's first win.
Tulane takes on Cincinnati Friday at 4:30 on Prime Sports.
Well, little do you folks know that it's Paul Romanek that's really leading the crowd in the Macarena right now, but he's back.
You know, you can't get away from that thing.
That song's popular all over the world.
Curry scoops it up around back of the net. Ruutu trying to come out like a buzzsaw up there, and Ruutu comes up with that puck. Ruutu flicks it across. Lume moving up from the blue line after it. Lume cuts out in front. Ruutu's down there. And the puck loose, knocked across, and it's picked up by Lundman. And Lume is hurt back behind the play.
He got a stick right in the face when he went down.
And Lume heads to the bench.
And he got cut right under the right eye, as you can see.
Pass comes up ahead. Peltonen coming in. This knifes it into the corner.
I like that about Jyrki Lume. He was hurt. He got right up and he skated hard to the bench.
That did not stay on the ice and stop play. Here's Stromberg. Bounced away from Lehtinen. Nowak with it. Nowak gave it away. Here's Koivu. Koivu with the gift. Shoots. And that's knocked away. Peltonen battling along the boards, gets it back. Here's Koivu again. Look at him, stick handle in a phone booth. He walks up, centered it in front of the net. Great pass across to Peltonen. He just failed to finish. That's smoked on goal. Big shot by Laukkanen. Rebound in front. Koivu looking for it. And it's finally covered up. What a show Koivu put on, dipping and diving.
And Peltonen ends up on his face, diving, trying to get that puck in. The Finns were all over this German team. They came so close, but were unable to score. Jyrki Lume made a great cut to the net, and here's where he gets hurt, folks. He got pushed down from behind, and when he did, he got a stick right there. I believe it was by number 12, Ludeman, that ended up putting the stick right in Jyrki Lume's face.
And there's the move by Koivu and the great pass in front to Peltonen. You talk about an exciting player when he cranks it up. Saku Koivu, tremendous puck handling skill.
Great speed, good agility, and he can excite. And stick handling he loves to do. Treats the Finnish fans here when they see Jari Kurri score a goal tonight, Timo Solani score a goal, and a great effort and great plays by Saku Koivu.
Koivu with a couple of assists. And may well have a goal before all is said and done in this one. Here comes Hannu Virta. He has a goal. Carries that puck up. Virta backhand shot. Merck stopped that. Popped up around the boards by Height, but not out. Kinas moves it up. Stefan Uzdorf trying to get loose. Uzdorf along the boards. Bend is up there. Puck cleared into the corner. McKay gives chase. Dropped it back for Uzdorf. He'll be tied up along the boards. Uzdorf still battling away against Ullinen. Puck hops in front. Benda up there looking for it. Picked up by Kiprasov, who starts it back. Long pass to Solane. He's on the move. Solane cuts in, shoots. Tried to tuck it in the short side, but that was knocked away. Rihi-Järvi getting it up there. Solane is trying to get loose in the slot. Oljanen moves it up. That's knocked down. Usdorf bouncing it up ahead. Stromberg, long pass. Got it up ahead. Solane up ahead. And Nieminen couldn't hold on to it. Stromberg knocked it down. Doucette up there looking for it along with Benda. That's broken up. Nieminen drops it up. Backhand shot, scores! Nurminen. Kai Nurminen working up there with Mika Nieminen. And it's 5-1 Finland.
Well, just some great passing plays by the Finns. They look for each other. That's a good example of how they have been playing as a team since this tournament started. Their coach, Kurt Lindstrom, knew that they had lots of National Hockey League talent, but what he liked about these guys were that they were playing as a team. They're passing, they're using each other. They're not trying to do individual moves. They are trying to work together as a team to win. That was a pretty good example of it.
And they come right back. Stromberg back at the line. He'll fire one up. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Controlled now by Doucette. Laukkanen hands the puck away. The puck bouncing around in front of the net. Hagen trying to get to it. And Hagen probably had the best chance. Here's Stromberg. In front for Curry. And it went off his stick, and the Germans come back. Draisaitl up to the line. He's up there with Hagen. Hagen trying to sneak in behind the defense. Draisaitl couldn't return the feed to him. Fans hollering for a penalty there as Curry was dumped. Or dove or both. In front, puck tapped by Pika. He scores.
Oh, the fans are real ugly here right now. They don't like this the least bit. Not that the Germans scored. That they did. But the fact that they were not penalized for hauling down Jari Kurri, their native son.
Well, Curry gets dumped here. And then the wheels are in motion offensively. Reem Pika is the man who finishes off.
Pika was one of the players that George Kingston expected to be able to show some of his offensive abilities in finishing things off. He was injured and didn't play in the '96 Worlds, but he's been a pleasant surprise here and in the training camp. And you see that puck going right up and over.
And right off the draw, they score again. Lehtinen. Jari Lehtinen. Right off a face-off, off a German goal. The Finns come right back and say, take that.
Well, Lehtinen took a little pressure off the officials, didn't he? The crowd here is still upset. Well, not for long, they weren't anyway. Bosmerk looking down, realizing that the Finns can strike fast. That they did. No sooner had Pika scored than Lehtinen returned.
So the dust settles, and it's the same as it was about a minute ago. The Finns with a 4-goal advantage. Pika scored to make it 5-2. It is now 6-2. And Koivu comes in. Koivu down to Lehtinen. Back up to Koivu. Lehtinen trying to get loose. In over the line. Brandel fired it across in front of the net. Steffen goes after it. Steffen was looking for Brandel, but he's relieved of the puck. Here's Ludeman.
What an influence the fans can have in a building. The first period was somewhat like summer hockey. It was slow, it was pretty quiet. The fans were quiet. This second period, the fans got going. I think it was because of your favorite song, Paul. That's when it really got them going. The fans were doing the wave and the tempo increased. This has been a good second period.
2:47 to play in the second period. 6-2 the score.
Your fishing buddy said the Honda Passport is rugged and loaded with standard features. No hurry, you replied. Mike at the tackle shop offered. The Passport has the reliability you'd expect from a Honda. Patience, you responded. Then came the 96 Honda clearance lease, $219 a month for 30 months and a $2,200 down payment. Your wife exclaimed,
He always knew when to strike.
timing is everything at your Honda dealer.
Look out.
This year, the Trojans have got it all. They're bigger, stronger, and playing harder than ever. Going for their second consecutive Rose Bowl victory and a national championship. USC football. We're kicking more than the ball.
It is 6-2, Finland leading late in the second period. Puck bounces back to Lume. Here's Ludman. Lume swiped at that. Lume back out there after heading to the dressing room to collect a couple of stitches. Hoosdorf fires one in. Millis grabs that. Lume took a high stick earlier in this period. Here comes Ullinen. Ullinen burrowing his way up there deep. Solane up with him. Ullinen centers it back out in front. And by Strombergen down the ice. Here comes Laukkanen. Long pass up ahead to Solane. Drops it off. Nieminen cutting in. Puck loose in front. Ojanen tried to get to it.
Good play by Nieminen, the way that he dropped that puck back and really used his body as a decoy. Good hit right there by Laukkanen.
He moved over and hit Jürgen Rumrich. 1:38 to play in the second period.
Well, there have been things here in this second period, at least, that have kept the crowd right into it. Obviously, a lot of goals being scored, but some good body checks as well. And again, remember, folks, that this is a small ice surface. Small for Europeans. This is an 85 by 200 National Hockey League size surface. There has been a lot more hitting going on in the 3 games thus far. And the fans, like fans in North America, love to see a good clean body check and those boards rattle.
Yeah, especially in some of the U.S. rinks where the boards tend to be loose, so you get the hit and the big wave of the glass and the wobble of the boards. I think the players probably enjoy those types of hits a little more too than some of the older buildings where the boards are anchored in cement.
Well, even when you're on the receiving end, it sounds better than it sometimes feels.
Off the draw. Doucette trying to get it back, but that's broken up. Nurminen. Merrick out to play it away. But Nieminen right up there, hustling along the boards. Number 40 for Finland. Trying to shovel that puck loose. He did, but the Germans controlling it. Pass up ahead, almost onto the stick of number 23, Dieter Hagen, the German veteran, who's been pretty quiet in this game, actually. Here's Ojanen. Nurminen stopped at the blue line. Kunze just slapping it up ahead. Drysdale going after it while the Germans change. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Heck waiting for it along the boards. Drysdale on the move down the right side. Drysdale gets it away from Curry and just clears it in, but can't break away from the Finnish checkers to get there in time. Drysdale up after it now, but Lume pulls it away from him.
Good job by Drysdale to cut off that pass. He used his body.
And that's an offside pass up ahead to Raimo Helminen, so we get play whistled down with 30 seconds to go in the second period.
We haven't seen a lot of the 100-year-old line. The Kurt Lidstrom line of Ruutu, Helminen, and Curry. They were out there in the first period, but as this game has clearly gotten in the hands of the Finns with an insurmountable lead, then the 100-year-old line hasn't seen as much ice time out there.
Being rested perhaps for the next game.
Use the whole bench. Take your veteran line and give them the opportunity to play when you really need them and rest them when you don't.
Koivu hustling up into the corner. Koivu up there with Lehtinen. They try to work it in front of the net between the two of them, but it ends up clogged up on the mesh with 14 seconds to go in the second period.
The big game for the Finns Sunday night at the Globe Arena. That will be a great game, and it's been a huge build-up for that game. Anytime the Swedes play the Finns, it's a huge game. But right now, I think that most people would have predicted in this tournament that that is the game of all games on this side of the ocean.
Offside right off the draw. That could well be the game for first place in the European pool and a bye in the first round of the playoffs. Top 3 teams in each pool make it. First place gets a bye. 2 and 3 play a crossover game with the other pool. Here's Lume. Puck tapped up ahead. Randall couldn't catch up to it, and that will do it for the second period. So Finland with 3 goals in the first period. They add another 3 here in the second period. 6-2 Finland over Germany after 2 periods of play.
Thank you, Paul and Gary. This is the New Dodge Intermission Report. Both teams with a little jump in that period.
Yeah, it was a little better from the standpoint of competitiveness. The Germans got out of their zone a couple of times. They were coming up to the neutral zone with speed, so they had a few attacks, but you could feel it. Every time the Finns felt they were getting in trouble, they come back with a goal.
6-2 is our score. Lots to come between periods, and we'll get going with it when we come back after this. This is the New Dodge Intermission Report. Stay with us, everybody.
We have a wonderful 75 La Couille Cabernet, or an exquisite 58 Le Boussemillon, or a 62 Je Vous Pinot if you're in the mood for...
No. Enough of that old stuff. The lady and I would prefer something fresh. How about something in a lager? What do you got in a Budweiser from, say, early this month?
Budweiser. Brewery fresh taste. Strictly enforced.
If I give you a clean sheet, what will you write? Will it be poetry or just plain English? If you have something to say it now. For soon, my sheet will be filled, and this chapter will end, sure as the next will begin, with a clean sheet, new authors, and a million possibilities.
There are a lot of compelling reasons for buying a Dodge Ram. A potent line of Magnum engines, the most available towing of any pickup, payload capacity of up to 2.5 tons. But perhaps the weightiest argument is this. Dodge Ram has higher resale than Ford, Chevy, or GMC. The rules have indeed changed.
are back live. It is 6-2 Finland over Germany. Bill McDonald along with Jim Fox, the new Dodge Intermission Report. Time to get right to the highlights, and there are plenty of them so far in this game.
They certainly were. A very quick start for Finland. Klaus Merck gets the start. Kolzig got shelled the other day. Maybe a hand injury against Kolzig, but the speed established early by the Finns. Solani wide, although he shoots wide on the play. Wouldn't take long, though. Koivu sets up Hannu Virta on the power play. One-time shot. Finland keeps it going. Jolanen, a nice move on the boards, right to the net. But Merck, the goaltender, coming up pretty big right there. He makes the stop. But you can't keep Finland down. Peltonen will come up with a big blast right there. Merck makes another save, so he's holding him in. Still in the first period. Good passing. Curry on the power play. A little traffic in front with Solani. Long shot. Curry puts Finland up 2-0. The penalty's killing Germany. Power play goal again. This time it's Lettinen. Going in that NHL style, cashing in on the rebounds. 3-0 Finland after one. Big surprise. Daniel Noak gets the Germans on the board. It was a power play goal, but Finns come back again. Merck, maybe the best save. Macarena time in Finland. Helsinki, they're having a good time. Perpetual motion by Solani right here. He started the play off, finishes it off. Great movement again on the power play. All sports stats after 2 periods. Look at those shots on goal. We're used to that with Germany. They don't have the puck that much. Again, the 3 power play goals in the first period by Finland. They establish it. Touching on it once again, Bill, if the Finns feel like they get in a little trouble, they just get the puck, take it to the net, and put it in.
2 quick comments. What's a guy doing wearing a sombrero in Finland? And can you do the Macarena? Go ahead as we go out.
I can do that. That's
no
easy.
Flipping. We're back to preview tomorrow's game with Canada after this. Stay with us.
I'm Jim McKay with another update from the 2020 Global Games. Little Jacqueline Keller captured the gold today on the highly uneven bars, while Austria's gentle giant Milos dominated the 1-ton power lift. The highlight of the day so far was the record-breaking 300-meter dolphin relay.
The world of sports has evolved since all sport. Now with B vitamins, athletes need to unlock carbohydrate energy. It's more than a thirst quencher, it's a body quencher.
Coming up later, the graduated hurdles.
To the designers of the Dodge Stratus, performance isn't just how a car handles, but what it handles. So along with a rigid frame and modified double wishbone suspension for control, they also developed the biggest trunk in its class. So Stratus isn't just a great driver's car, it's a great packer's car. Dodge Stratus. It's full of answers. Now during the Dodge Summer Clearance, get $1,000 cash savings, 1.9 financing, or a low...
Hello, everybody. I'm Bill McDonald. If you live for Angels baseball like I do, you will not want to miss Angels in the Infield. Check it out for in-depth interviews, features, and highlights of your favorite Angels. Don't miss our next show before the Angels take on the Boston Red Sox. Tonight at 7.
Hi, I'm Randy Sparagi. Tonight in the press box, the Dodgers continue their playoff battle in Montreal, and we'll visit with the Martinez brothers, Pedro of the Expos and Ramon of the Dodgers. Tomorrow night, they'll face off against each other for the first time. It's all tonight on Prime Sports.
This is where it happened. I was lying in a ditch, face down, trying to breathe.
I was lucky. Most people who get thrown from their cars have injuries so serious that their lives are never the same. A lot of them die, and like me, most of them weren't wearing a seatbelt. It's the simplest thing. Please buckle up every time. It can save your life.
It takes so little to save our rivers and oceans for future generations. If we use less toxic household cleaners, we protect a little. Fewer lawn care chemicals, a little more. And recycling used motor oil gains us so much. In fact, there are many things we can do in our everyday lives that can help stop water pollution forever. Clean water. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
You're looking at Helsinki, Finland. And World Cup hockey is being brought to you by the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest army in the world. Be all you can be. And by New Speed Stick Gel. It's unbeatable gel protection just for the guys. Welcome back. I'm Bill McDonald along with Jim Fox. Between the second and third period, Finland on top by the score of 6-2. Tomorrow night, the North American pool opens up play. Canada versus Russia. Now, for Team Canada, so much is expected of them, quite obviously. They've got some of the greatest names in the game. Couple of questionable choices when you look at the roster, but still, when you look at these guys, you know you've got the greatest names in hockey.
You talk about the big guys. Eric Lindros expected to do way more this time offensively. Gretzky, he may be more of an inspirational leader, and that tells you how strong Canada is. With Gretzky, his ice time may go down, but Gretzky's the all-time leader in scoring in Canada Cups. Now it's the World Cup. He will still be very effective. Don't get me wrong, especially on the power play, and Eric Lindros, again, the big shot right there, offense. But with Lindros, because I think Canada's biggest asset is their power and strength and size from the forward position, I think that's where Lindros will have to come to the forefront. He expects to be more of a leader, too. He looked back to 1991. He was only 18 years old playing in the Canada Cup. He feels that's still his biggest hockey highlight. So Lindros, Gretzky, a whole bunch of everyone, and certainly Canada is the favorite.
Maybe a little suspect defensively, but so is Russia. This could be a great shootout between these two teams.
That's right. Russia has the strength with all of the forwards. Bure will not be playing, but you still have guys like Fedorov, Mogilny, Larionov, the guys who are going to score. Risky, though, I think, are the defensemen of Russia. They have an offensive trend to them, but they take chances at times to create those chances. So, yeah, they're going to have the transition game and defensemen jumping into the play. It's going to be very exciting for Russia. But from the standpoint, yeah, they are a favorite in the tournament. But I think the defense of Russia is going to have to play a little more controlled if they're going to win it all.
We will have some fun with that matchup tomorrow night. It'll be 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock in the West. That's our second game tomorrow. We will start it off in the morning out here in the West, Czech Republic versus Sweden. No games, remember, on Friday. And then Saturday comes that huge triple header. And we finish it off with USA and Canada live, 8 o'clock in the East, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. Going to take a break. When we come back, much more to come. This is the World Cup of Hockey for '96. Intermission report. We certainly hope you're enjoying our coverage of the 1996 World Cup of Hockey. I'm Bill McDonald along with Jim Fox. In essence, the World Cup is what the old Canada Cup was, and the last couple of Canada Cups, Canada won, and coaching was Mike Keenan. Now, Mike Keenan was passed up, really, this time around. You see the other coaches. But Mike Keenan got a chance in 1987 and 1991. He's not coaching this year, and we asked him about his thoughts about not being behind the bench for this tournament.
Well, it's disappointing, certainly, but on the other hand, I guess I have to look at the positive side of it and say that I've had more opportunities than most coaches in this industry, certainly being exposed to the best players in Canada in 1987 and then 1991. I feel privileged that I had the opportunity to work for my country and to work with these athletes, and maybe someday in the future I'll get another opportunity.
Well, obviously a very diplomatic Mike Keenan right there. I think the knock against Mike Keenan in this situation that he's too hard on the players. He really grinds it out, but we saw from the graphic that he was very effective coaching the last two winners for Canada. Take nothing away from Glenn Sather, the GM and coach of Team Canada, the Edmonton Oilers organization. He built all the dominant teams. Sather has a totally different approach. He backs off the players. There's more fun. But again, I mentioned diplomatic Mike Keenan. If Canada does not go on to win the tournament, obviously a lot of people are going to point to that decision.
When you go up and down the coaches in this tournament, there's a lot of cloak and dagger stuff behind the scenes, some problems. The only team that seems to be in perfect harmony, Team USA with Ron Wilson.
That's right. Most of the politics that develop in this situation come from the coaching aspects. Tikhonov with Russia, the players didn't want him. We talked about Mike Keenan. In Slovakia, you have a new country being born, so a whole bunch of political problems. So the coaching usually ends up to be a decision where everyone has to get together, and it's not always accepted by everyone. Ron Wilson in the World Championships took Team USA to a bronze back in the spring. Everyone felt it went well. Maybe the only situation where there hasn't been any controversy, Team USA and Ron Wilson.
It'll be decided on the ice, however. We're going to take another break. When we come back, much more to come. We'll drop the puck for the third period in just a couple of moments. Finland on top of Germany, 6-2. Stay with us. Dodge Intermission Report. Before we get back to the third period in Helsinki, some NHL news. We want to get you up to date on everything that's going on. It's been long rumored, but it finally went down. Dino Ciccarelli, Gonzo, he's out of Detroit. He's going down to play with the Tampa Bay Lightning. That deal was for future consideration, so Dino is now a Lightning.
Well, Dino Ciccarelli, a 500-goal man in the National Hockey League. You mentioned it was talked about quite a bit a long time ago. Detroit trying to change that chemistry. They're trying to get things going. Favored the last couple of years to win the Stanley Cup. It did not come through. Well, enough about the action in Dino Ciccarelli. Back to Helsinki.
Bye-bye. Let's go.
Welcome back to the ice hall in Finland. Third period action set to get underway. It is 6-2. Finland is leading Germany. And as you talked about between periods, Gary, Germany playing for pride at this point and hoping to lay a good foundation for what for them will be a big game against the Czech Republic.
That's the game they want to win. They think they can win, but on the other hand, it's game number 3 coming up for the Finnish team against the Swedes. And these haven't exactly been great warm-up games for them.
McKay trying to get it out in front, but that was broken up. Rushing up after it, Uzdorf knocked down on the play. Benda comes up trying to get it back to Uzdorf. Kunze clears it back. Daniel Kunze slides it up ahead into the skates of Hagen. He was given a bump. Puck wrapped ahead by Rumrek. Just played the first minute of this third period. 6-2, Finland leading Germany. Finland looking to go 2-0 in the tournament. The Germans would be 0-2. Nummelen carries it in. Offside is called on Finland.
Nummelen would like to make an impact here on this hockey club. And a very good impression on Coach Kurt Lindstrom, because he would like to stay in the lineup. He was put back into the lineup in tonight's hockey game as Niinema was pulled.
Ulonen had the big first game in this tournament, had a couple of assists, working well out there with Teemu Selänne. They've looked good in a line together. Puck cleared up ahead to Thomas Brandl. Brandl got it up there. Walking up is Leipzig with a shot. Brandl with a nice pass to Leipzig. Now it's fired up by Ludeman. And the Germans with a bit of jump. Leipzig just at the side of the net. Couldn't get a stick on it. And it's cleared down the ice. Ludeman back to tag it up. Icing is called in Finland. At times, the Germans have shown some decent offensive jump, which George Kingston says they have, but he also admits they have a lack of guys who can finish.
Well, having the guys that have the heart is one thing, and the abilities to work hard. The Germans can do that. You can see that scoring opportunity they just had, working their way into the slot. And they can skate. This isn't a slow hockey club by any means, but they are not an overly talented hockey club. The obvious tells you if they did, they'd have a lot of players in the NHL.
Heck shoots one on goal right off the faceoff. Heck could be one of those players in the NHL, drafted by the St. Louis Blues. Maybe one day he'll be there. He has the puck now. Heck throws it up ahead. Draisaitl coming in. He's rubbed along the boards by Laukkanen, and they'll mix it up. Stromberg. Ruutu picks it up. Christian Ruutu, delayed penalty coming up against Germany. And Ruutu turns back looking for a bit of room. Up to Nieminen. He'll step in over the line. Up ahead to Curry. Flashing up along the boards. Here's Curry twisting and turning. Trying to get away from height. And play is called.
Well, this time when Curry goes down, there is going to be a penalty called. Referee Dan Mirowelli signaling that on the Germans.
And it's Draisaitl heading off to the box. So Finland with another chance in the power play. 3 power play goals already in this game for Finland. All 3 of them in the first period. One of Germany's 2 goals coming in the man advantage.
Koivu's line is out there, the kid line for the Finnish hockey club, and this line always creates excitement.
Koivu, Lehtinen, and Peltonen. Kiprasov skating back after it. Mark McKay watching him. And Kiprasov will start back. And Uverta gets it up ahead. Lehtinen down into the corner. He's bounced along the boards there by Kuntze. Good solid hit there. Here's Kiprasov. Down into the corner. Lehtinen was going towards the front of the net. Koivu couldn't get it to him. Lehtinen comes over to pick it up. Koivu backs down in behind the goal. Kiprasov, meanwhile, to Lehtinen. Back to Kiprasov. Lehtinen. That was Kuntze who dropped down in front of him. Lehtinen worked it back. Puck fired in on goal. Koivu centered it in front with a great pass. Koivu just thread the needle with that pass, and it rolled right through the crease.
Pretty nifty stick handling by Koivu. He is one talented young hockey player.
Here's Verta with 52 seconds left in the power play for Finland. Ulonen with it.
You notice when that kid line was out there tonight, it never mentioned about Huey, Dewey, and Louie again tonight. Oh, now I guess I did again.
Ulonen comes up, drops it off there. That is broken up. Back up the other way comes Doucette, and he's just forced to the outside by Lume. But Doucette eating up some time. 25 seconds now remaining in the Finnish power play. Jari Kurri gets it up ahead to Teemu Selänne. Selänne with some room, walks in, centers it. Ulonen in on goal, and that was stopped. Selänne just turned on the Jets, and suddenly there was a scoring chance.
Well, Finland haven't slowed down in this third period of play. They have not been treating it as though they've won the hockey game already, which they could have easily done. However, they know they've got an important game 3 coming up, and lots more after that, they hope.
And there's Koivu rolling it right out in front of the net.
Koivu is so good with that puck. When he is in close quarters, he can stick handle. He can pull that puck very close to his body and control it.
You think he can be a big major sniper playmaker in the NHL?
Well, this was just his first year, and by scoring 20 goals, that's a pretty good start, Paul.
Exactly. Here's Stromberg. Scores! Just as time ran out in the power play, Mika Stromberg sent it in towards the net. And it is 7-2. We'll see if Ojanen gets credit. He was parked down in front of the goal, but Stromberg takes the shot from the line.
Well, there's a screen set up in front of Merkin, so once that puck came from the point and was drifted high right here, you can see that it, I don't think any question, it hit something. Ojanen seems to be getting credit for it. We'll wait for the official announcement.
Rebound comes out quickly, cleared away by Merck. He had Helmanen breaking in. Here comes Brandl. Thomas Brandl hustling back the other way. Curls in over the blue line. He's relieved of the puck, and here comes Ojanen. Ojanen gets it across. Nurminen with a shot. And that one sails up wide of the target and into the netting above the glass. 15-10 to play in the third period. 7-2 the score.
I'm Jim McKay with an update from the 2020 Global Games. Graduated hurdles rose, but Great Britain fell. Nathan Rudder grabbed the ring and the gold for the U.S. Earlier today, Caswell Fowler executed the first perfect 10 multiple board dive.
The world of sports has evolved since all sport. Now with B vitamins, athletes need to unlock carbohydrate energy. It's more than a thirst quencher, it's a body quencher.
Coming up later, the record-breaking 300-meter dolphin relay.
Hello?
How's your butt ice? Doobie.
That's the third one tonight.
It's okay. The police are tracing the call. Hello?
This is the police. Those calls are coming from inside the house. Repeat, those calls are coming from inside the house.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware of the penguins.
Sir? Sir?
Mika Stromberg does get credit for that last finished goal, making it 7-2. Initially, it was thought that Ojanen had perhaps redirected it down in front of the net.
Ojanen was in behind the German defenseman, but I believe what it hit was the German defenseman's shoulder as that puck was lofted high. It definitely changed directions.
Ferda shooting right off the face-off, sizzled that one wide of the net. And Verda skating back after it. No icing, obviously. The rebound coming off of his shot. Curry got it up to center. Skating back after it is Nowak. Daniel Nowak drops it back. Here's Curry. Here's Curry. Still with it. Back out. Verda up to Curry. Tried to whip it in on goal. Puck rolls to the corner. Curry battling away with Drysdale. This taps it up ahead for Nieminen. Nieminen battles in front. Big crowd down in front of the German goal. Here's Kiprasov. He'll start it back. 14:20 to play here in the third period. 7-2. Finland is leading. Lume back into the corner. Pushes it up for Ruutu. Ruutu trying to get away from Uzdorf. This is Lupzig. Back to the line. Punched in on goal there by Ludeman. And the fans still very much into this one. Watching the home team in a romp. McKay lost the puck. Meyer scoops it back in for Germany. 13:40 to play in the third period. Finland with a 7-2 lead, poised to go 2-0 in this tournament. Germany would be 0-2 with a big game coming up against the Czech Republic tomorrow in Prague. Up in the corner, Benda was trying to get it loose, but it comes back out, and here come the Finns once again. Lehtinen, right in on goal, they score! Koivu! Saku Koivu set up by Lehtinen, and it's 8-2.
Just a great pass, a backhand pass by Lehtinen right over to the stick of Koivu. Watch Saku Koivu. He moves in, he's on his forehand side, coming down the right wing side, and he just positioned himself perfectly to take a beautiful pass. Lehtinen could have given him that pass on his forehand. The defense could have read it better. Instead, he made a more difficult pass on his backhand, and what a beautiful job he did of putting it tape to tape.
Koivu with a couple of assists and a goal. He is flying in this game. So are his teammates. It is 8-2. Finland pouring it on here in the third period. Lehtinen and Peltonen pick up assists, and here they come again. Ylönen breaking up there. Had it knocked off his stick. Riihijärvi was going after it. Puck flips back out in an awkward spill. Back behind the play. The Germans carry it in meanwhile. Hagen trying to cut in towards the front of the net. Hagen slides it across.
Stromberg went into the boards rather awkwardly, as you pointed out, Paul, and he's getting some assistance at the bench right now. He may have hurt his shoulder the way that he crashed into the boards.
Yeah, that was definitely number 26, Mika Stromberg, ailing over to the bench, and he's being attended to now as he sits down on the Finnish bench. Kiprasov, meanwhile, with it. There's Stromberg there being looked at. And the way the trainer is handling him, your diagnosis could be not bad. Shoulder. Helminen flicks that pass across. Nurminen trying to come in. And the puck deflected up and out of play. 11:59 to play in the third period. Finland up 8-2, but concern surrounding Mika Stromberg.
You Dodge dealers are having an utterly unbelievable, absolutely amazing Labor Day clearance.
Actually, we're offering 1.9 financing on select cars. Or get $705 cash back on select Dodge Caravans and up to $2,000 cash back on Dakota.
Wow, that's too phenomenally fantastic to be true.
Let's review, shall we? 1.9 financing, $705 cash back on Dodge Caravan and up to $2,000 cash back on Dakota.
You better hurry. Labor Day clearance. Time is running out.
Just see your friendly Dodge dealer.
Be there!
It's September, and we're bringing in the heavy hitters on Prime Sports. Jim Edmonds and the Angels battle it out with the big bats of the AL West. Watch Mark McGuire, Juan Gonzalez, and Ken Griffey Jr. slug it out with the Halos. College football is back. We're loaded with great action from the Big 12 and the Pac-10. And there's hits on the ice with the best in the world competing for the World Cup of Hockey. We're walking the walk and talking the talk, all during September on Prime Sports.
But give this German team lots of credit. They are up against a very powerful foe, and they've continued to work and persevere. And that has to augur well for their game coming up tomorrow against the Czech Republic. And that could well be the third-place game. Pardon me, that game's not coming up tomorrow. It is Sweden in the Czech Republic tomorrow. Should Sweden win that game, then the showdown on the weekend between Germany and the Czech Republic would be for third place or last place, depending on how you want to look at it. Puck knocked out in front for Lume. That bounced by him. Here's Nurminen. Nurminen moves up. Slides it down low for Ojanen. Ojanen out to Nurminen.
If Nurminen hadn't lost that puck in front, it would have been a very interesting 2-on-1 down low.
Numelin. And Numelin will get it back.
Finns taking their time coming out of the zone. Looking for the long bomb to Ruutu.
Ruutu just snaking across center. Couldn't get it on the tape. This is Jari Kurri playing it all the way back. And Stromberg with it. Back out on the ice.
Oh, that's good news.
He was just going to try it out. He heads right back to the bench. So Stromberg coming out just to try his shift after he fell awkwardly into the boards. Appeared to hurt his shoulder or his neck. They had the ice right on the back of his neck. He came out to try it for a shift, but that is it. He is going to leave the bench and head down to the dressing room.
Well, unfortunate for Stromberg and unfortunate for the Finnish team because he's played well in these games. He has played his entire career with Jokerit, 8 years.
And that's been a dominant team in the Finnish league, winning the Finnish league title as well as the European title the last couple of years for club teams. Kurri works it across. Ruutu up after it. Kurri dipping back of the goal to claim the spoils, twisting around, creating some room as he does so well. Verdict clears it up. Here's Ruutu. Kurri working towards the front of the net. Nieminen with it meanwhile. Sans helmet. Nieminen trying to get it loose. Get some help up there from Ruutu. Ruutu all the way back for Verdict. Shooting! Big crowd in front of the net and a penalty coming up. Nieminen getting tangled up with Klaus Merck. And that will be the penalty as play continues.
That was definite interference on the goaltender. Nieminen can't escape that one.
So Mika Nieminen will head to the box. He ran into Klaus Merck. And Merck has had enough trouble stopping pucks. Never mind having to stop players as well.
Goaltender interference.
Nieminen without his helmet, heading off to the penalty box. He didn't have his helmet here either. You can see that he skated right through the crease in the first place. You could see the German defenseman, Hinas, gave him a little bit of a chop, but that wasn't enough to really interfere with Niemann, not sending him off crashing into the goaltender Merck. He just kind of did that on his own.
9:39 to go in the third period. Kurt Lindstrom and his Finnish team leading very comfortably. But you bring up a good point, Gary, and that is Finland getting set for its biggest game of the tournament so far. And its next one, puck given away in front to Drysdale, center scores! Jochen Hecht with a gift. And it is 8-3.
Well, that's one of the problems. All of a sudden you have that big lead and you start making some bad, careless moves, and next thing you know, the puck's in your net. Heck just took advantage of Mielis being really caught out of position, not expecting this. Mielis tried to fire that puck up and clear the zone. It didn't work, and instead it backfired on him as Heck was just strolling in front of the net, not really expecting this situation to occur, but boy, when he got that loose puck right there, he wasted no time putting it into the empty side.
And Jyrki Lumme, one of the defensemen, wasn't expecting his goaltender to hand the puck away either. That's why he was caught out of position. Heck was all alone. As we get back to the point, Finland getting set for this big game against Sweden, but as you pointed out, they haven't been tested all that severely. I mean, as a coach, how are you going to feel heading into that next game? Confident because of 2 big wins, or a bit of trepidation because of your opposition?
No, I think Coach Kurt Lindstrom knows exactly what he's up against on Sunday, and he's more apt to take the good things out of these 2 games. The fact that they've moved the puck well, they've played well defensively, except for a few situations, and that they've been able to finish off, and finishing off was one of their concerns, and so hopefully they'll be able to carry their offensive capabilities into game number 3.
14 goals and counting. And we're not yet through 2 games. Delayed penalty coming up against Germany. Koivu was dumped up in the corner. So when we come back, another Finnish power play, trying to add to an 8-3 lead.
Hello?
How's your butt ice? Doobie, doobie.
That's the 3rd one tonight.
It's okay. The police are tracing the call. Hello?
This is the police. Those calls are coming from inside the house. Repeat, those calls are coming from inside the house.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware of the penguins.
Sir? Sir?
Conference USA takes the field with favorite Cincinnati. The Bearcats are pumped and looking to score the conference's first win.
Tulane takes on Cincinnati Friday at 4:30 on Prime Sports.
The first round of the World Cup of Hockey begins. The best players in the NHL and the world battle for their national home team. See Forsberg of Sweden face off against Yager of the Czech Republic for a new World Hockey Championship, the World Cup of Hockey.
Thursday at 10 on Prime Sports.
Jürgen Rumrich is in the penalty box. And the Germans get set to defend against a Finnish power play.
A Finnish power play that has dominated in this game. They've been awesome.
Lumme working along the boards. And he will start off. Jari Kurri out there with him. Ylonen up front. Rihi Järvi and Solane. Lots of firepower. Lumme carries up to the corner. Being watched there by Kunse. Here's Solane. Only one man back at the point. Solane works it back to him. That's Jari Kurri. Gets it across for Lumme. Tried to return the favor to Kurri, but that's broken up. And this is Ustorf coming back. He'll step in over the blue line. Benda up there with him. Walks up coast to coast. Big stop by Jarmo Myllys.
That's the best effort by Washington Capitals' Ustorf that we've seen in the 2 games.
And here comes Solane back the other way in over the blue line. Koivu up there with him. Here's Solane. Back out to Kurri. Back to Solane. Kurri. And watch them work it around. Kurri works it up. Koivu is down low. Solane to Kurri. Shoots. Koivu in front. And he's stopped by Merrick.
Many will ask the question, with the small ice surface, why aren't the Germans being more aggressive on their penalty-killing box? Why aren't they forcing? We understand why they don't do that on the big ice surface. I think the sheer answer is respect. This was the play by Stefan Ustorf that was an amazing move that he made and got off a decent backhand shot. But I think that the clear answer is that they have such tremendous respect for the speed and skill level, the finishing off and offensive levels of the Finnish team, that they are just going to be more respectful and stay in that box rather than get caught out of it.
30 seconds left in the power play. Berta centers it in front of the net, but that was knocked away from Lehtinen. clears it in. Johan Heck with one of the German goals. Verda tried to clear it up to Peltema. That was broken up. Kiprasov. Here comes Koivu. Shifting up to the blue line. Coming up with Peltonen. Works it across. Lehtinen. Peltonen trying to cut in front of the net. Penalized player back on. Breaking in is Rumrick. Shooting. Rebound. He stopped once and stopped twice by Millis. Rumrick out of the box and into the play, and he was stymied. Puck fired in on goal there by Lehtinen. They open it up. Steffen up to the blue line. He'll step in. Leipzig with him, but offside called on Germany. Little spurts in this game of being as entertaining as any that I've seen in this tournament. When the teams really open it up and fly back and forth, it's like summer hockey, but it's sure fun to watch.
Well, good play by Keenan. He put that puck right up to Rumrick. A good long pass way back in the defensive zone, and Rumrick really showed why they say that he's a hard-working, gritty grinder guy. He just worked his way in on Millis. He definitely skated very hard, probably harder and faster than he's capable of skating. He knew he had the offensive opportunity. Good effort on his part.
And he wants to impress in this tournament. He's coming off of a 4-year absence from the national team, so this is his chance to establish a foothold and get a spot back in the big club. Puck fired in wide there by Leipzig. And play whistle down. A penalty coming up. It's going to be a high sticking call against Finland. So with 5:37 to go in the third period, the Germans will go on the power play.
Laukkanen just took a little knock there from Daniel Nowak on his way to the penalty box, but it's Laukkanen that is getting penalized for the high sticking call.
Dan Marorelli, the referee in this game. Gord Brossiker and Shane Heyer on the lines. Shane Heyer's dad, Willie, watching from Vancouver Island, says Willie's retired, so he watches all the hockey, everything that's on TV.
Well, good for him. My dad's doing the same back in Tillsonburg, Ontario, so what better way to spend a day?
Puck comes back to the line off the draw. Nowak shooting. Rebound. Pops out in front. And Hagen couldn't get his stick on it. That's Dieter Hagen, number 23, with the puck. Rumrick out there as well, number 20. He had the chance a moment ago on the breakaway, just coming out of the box. Nowak clears it in. Kiprasov skates back to get to it. Ojanen, number 80, jars the puck loose for Finland, but not out. Here's Nowak. Shoots. That's knocked down. Didn't make it in as far as Millis. 1:15 to go in the power play for the Germans. 8-3. Finland is leading this game. Benda charging in towards the front of the net. Hagen couldn't get it to him. Tried to slide it along the boards. Hagen gets it back at the blue line. Now Benda will give chase. Jan Benda to Dieter Hagen. Back to Benda. Shoots. Rebound. Knocked down, and Hagen will pick it up. Back out for Benda again. Rolled it towards the goal. Nummelin knocks it down and clears the puck the length of the ice. 40 seconds left in the power play for Germany.
Helminen had lost his stick way back in the corner. Just continued to play his position without it.
Meyer cleared it up ahead. McKay couldn't hold on to the pass. McKay at the blue line, battling with Saku Koivu. 23 seconds left in the power play. Benda up along the boards. Uzdorf coming up there, couldn't get there in time. There's Merkwe out of his net to play it. Koivu up there with a little reconnaissance for Finland. He'll turn around and head back towards the bench with 7 seconds left in the power play for Germany. 3:42 to play in the third period. 8-3, Finland leading Germany. This is Kiprasov. Rattles it up around the boards. Knocked down and kept in by Nowak. Up into the corner. Meyer looking for it. And here comes Laukkanen. Laukkanen gets it up ahead. Ullinen stops, centers it. Laukkanen in front. The puck's still loose, and it's poked away. Laukkanen turn to get to it. And just then it was poked out of the way. A penalty coming up. 3:14 to play in the third period. You're watching the World Cup of Hockey. Finland on the power play. Jason Meyer of Germany in the penalty box for cross-checking. And Koivu lines up for the face-off out there with Lehtinen and Peltonen. Kiprasov and Verda back at the blue line. Here's Kiprasov. Over to Hannu Verda, shooting it. Rocketed that one wide. Lehtinen picks it up. Kiprasov. Verda shooting. And the puck skipping out to center.
This is just an exciting kid line to watch out there. Centered by Koivu, who can really make things happen.
Koivu is 21, Peltonen and Lehtinen 23 years of age each. And here comes Koivu again. To Lehtinen. Kiprasov. Kiprasov looks around. Back over to Hannu Verda. Peltonen. To Koivu. Tried to tuck it out in front quickly to Lehtinen. Koivu. Over to Verda. Up to Kiprasov. And couldn't waltz around Kuntze. Peltonen. Here's Verda. And passed it back outside the blue line. Kiprasov had backed up. And Heck is on him. He steals it. Muscles up there and can't finish off with a shot. But good persistence by Johan Heck.
And that's what Heck has to do. He has to get stronger on the puck. Had lunch with Mike Keenan this afternoon. He said he's not apt to keep him in North America next year. He'll let him stay here and continue to develop and work on his upper body strength.
Solane fires a rising shot. That's knocked away by Merrick. 25 seconds left in the Finnish power play. 1:38 to go in the hockey game. This is Teemu Solane. Solane still with it, looking. He'll pick it up again. Solane, lots of time to work it around. Back to Lume, across for Curry. Back for Lume, top of the point, up to Solane. Lume shoots. That's tipped wide. Penalized player is back on. 1:10 to go in the hockey game. Solane trying to work it out there. Bounces off a skate. Lume up there to pick it up. Jyrki Lume. Gets it over to Curry. Back across, and Ullinen almost picked that up as he was easing in towards the front of the net. Here's Curry. 45 seconds to go in the game. Ullinen tried to dance in over the blue line. That was knocked away. And here comes Steffen. Threw it up ahead there to Brandel. That was broken up. Meyer throwing it down into Finnish territory. Lume there to pick it up. Here's Ojanen across to a streaking Nummelen. In over the blue line. Shoots one up into the corner.
I think Kurt Lidstrom had been arguing that the Germans had too many men on the ice. It hasn't really helped them, though, has it?
An extra man might have made it a little closer. But the talent of this Finnish team, offensively especially, taking advantage of their scoring chances. Finland in 2 games scoring 14 goals. 6 in the first game, another 8 here in the second game. 8-3 winners over Germany. So they will celebrate tonight in Helsinki. Finland is 2-0.
Thank you, gentlemen. And with that victory, we can hand them into the next round, can't we?
It looks like Finland will go all the way. Bill, you talk about the great combination. You have the skill and speed with the Finnish players, but they are playing as a team. The egos are checked at the door. No one wants to shine above anyone else. They're playing good offensive hockey, but at the same time, very smart, very disciplined.
Finland, with this win, as mentioned, will move out of pool play and into the next round, and they still have a chance to be the #1 seed coming out of the European bracket. We're back with stats after this. Stay with us. dominates Germany 8-3, the World Cup of Hockey for 1996. Bill McDonald back along with Jim Fox. Time to look at the final stats, and Jim dissected for us. Let's go inside the numbers.
Well, hard work and discipline from the Finns, but if you look at the numbers, the power plays were the big story. 3 power play goals for Finland. They scored a couple just after power plays ended. Germany had to keep up by taking penalties. Not the type of penalties I thought Germany was going to take. They're usually more aggressive, more physical. I thought there'd be more elbowing, high-sticking type penalties from Germany, but because the Finns were so fast, the Germans were forced into restraining fouls, hooking, holding, taking them down. And as the Finland, they finished off. They clicked on that power play.
8-3 final. One more break. When we come back, we'll get you teed up for tomorrow. A couple of big games on tap. See you in a minute. Cup Hockey has been brought to you by All Sport. Now with B vitamins, it's more than a thirst quencher, it's a body quencher. 2 games tomorrow, the evening contest. The North American pool gets underway. Canada versus Russia in Vancouver. Theo Fleury from Team Canada talks about the explosive Russian team.
Well, they got a great team. You know, you look around, you look at the names on their lineup, and you know, I think the thing now with the Russians is that all those guys have played in the NHL and have had NHL experience, and you know, I think that's definitely going to benefit them playing in this tournament. That you know, that they've played against all of us and they've seen all the guys play.
Well, the meat of the tournament is starting up with the North American pool starting. The respect shown from Theoren Fleury with the Russians. A great matchup, a great rivalry. You go back to '72, that's when it started.
Have a great time. Jimmy will be up there in Vancouver tomorrow night providing analysis.
I can do
That's
that.
why he's here, of course, but we're going to miss you. Sweden and the Czech Republic, we'll have that for you tomorrow. The voice of the Los Angeles Kings, Bob Miller, will be with me to take us through that one tomorrow. Thank you for watching. For Paul Romanek and Gary Green, and of course for Jim Fox, I'm Bill McDonald. The final score once again from Helsinki, Finland all over Germany in this one. They go 2-0 and they will advance to the next round. The final there, 8-3. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. So long.
There's